This is Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P., South Jersey's hunting and fishing expert on WPG Talk Radio 1450 and WPG1450.com.
Here we go. Look out below. Bombing Run, Rack and Fin Radio with me, Tom P. WPG 1450 AM, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 97.3, ESPN FM, 50,000 watts of the Rack and Fin Radio message, and a Happy New Year to all. Opening of the trout season, parallel universe of Rack and Fin, opening of any season, cause for a New Year's celebration. A lot of stuff going on. Did some runs. Okay, not the nicest weather out there, but plenty of people are out in some South Jersey waters that we went by. Season opens at 8 a.m. Limit is 6 trout. Go to njfishandwildlife.com. Click on the fishing link. And the trout fishing link, rather, and you will see everything in there, dates and number of fish that are going to be stocked over the next 7 weeks. The in-season stocking period kicks off on Monday. Hey, just a reminder, last week we went to the Delta Waterfowl, the Barnacle Bay chapter dinner up there at the Lacey Elks. Just a tremendous time. I think Doc, Mike, and crew had over 150, 160 people in there. Well, people ask me, what more does Delta do? The Barnacle Bay chapter is going to be having an event on the 24th of April, okay, it's a couple of Sundays from now, at the Park Rod and Gun Club. That's Route 70 in Whiting. It's mile marker 41, about 2.5 miles east of the 539 and 70 intersection there. You know that big Wawa is. If you're going to 539, make that right down there. It's going to be adult and youth. Everyone's involved. A $5 fee. Okay, there's going to be gun safety lessons, skeet shooting, a retriever demo, burgers, hot dogs, soda, that whole bit. And you'll learn more about Delta now. I just had a text from Dr. Mike very early this morning. Enthused. Now, these are kind of people that are involved with Delta. One of the gentlemen was at the dinners, this is the 5th annual. He's paying for all the kids that show up, okay? So it's a free ride. Bring your son, bring your daughter, nieces, nephews, the kids next door. They want to do some shooting and learn all about retrieving and duck hunting in New Jersey. This is the time to do it. That's April 24th, Sunday. It starts at 3 p.m. and goes until whatever. For more information, give Stacy Smith a call, 618-2070. Even easier, go to Barnacle Bay Chapter Delta Waterfowl on Facebook. Hey, man, it's coming up within a month. The Governor's Surf Tournament, the annual surf tournament. Remember, it used to be in October. Well, they switch it to the spring in May. And let me tell you something. Already the entrants are flying in. Joining us on the line right now for a minute or two, and we can get him on a Saturday because with the trout stock in the past 3 weeks, man, he has been all over the place. It is Al Ivany. He is the head of the Division of Fish and Wildlife's Bureau of Information and Education. Give us a heads up on why to register for the Governor's Surf Tournament early. Al Ivany, my brother, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Woo! It's here already, Ivany. I'm too pumped up for that. And you know me, I just go there to walk the beach and eat. But go into it now. An early incentive to register. What do you got?
That's right. If you get the mail-in registration in by April 15th, there's an early registry incentive. You get $5 off the adult registration fee. It's $20 at the door on the day of the tournament. It's $15 ahead of time. You save on that adult registration. You're eligible for a drawing for a coastline surf system, and also it helps avoid delays because we get a lot of lines in the morning the day of the tournament, so you can go right to the beach if you register early.
And now, last year, didn't you have over 600-something people there?
We did, man. We're pushing 650, and I'm pleased to say that's up about 100 since we moved the tournament from October to May.
Al, entry fee, what do we got? What are the costs here?
It's for adults ages 18 and older. If you mail it in ahead of time, it's $15. 13 to 17-year-olds, it's $5, and under 12, it's free. Day of the tournament, 18 and older, $20. 13 to 17, still $5, and under 12, free.
Hey, Ivany, has the division raised the price on it? That's been $20 for 100 years, it seems.
Yeah, it's went up once, I believe, Tom. But
I'm not complaining. But
no.
Wow, that's a hell of a deal for a day of fishing up there.
Absolutely, man. And it's a great family day, and we're trying to keep the fee down to get as many people out as possible and make it as easy on folks as possible. And all that money goes to great causes, marine education, surf wheelchairs to help folks with disabilities get out on the beach, beach access. So all the money goes to great causes, and we try to keep that price as low as possible.
Al, give a source of information, please.
njfishandwildlife.com. The link to the Governor's Surf Fishing Tournament page is right on the homepage of our website. Click on that. It's got all the information you need. And again, anybody who wants to go, get your registration in by the 15th, save a few bucks, get in that drawing for the Coastline Surf System. And I encourage everybody to come on out and see us on May 15th, man. It's a great day. Family, friends, loads of people on the beach. It's just really a wonderful event. And
this is where I feel for Ivan here, this reason people, he doesn't get to fish. I mean, you're running around like a whirling dervish out there. mean, you don't get the fish, but
that's true. So I hadn't really thought of that too much until you reminded me right now, man. But that's true. But you know what? It's great to watch folks, and you get to talk to so many people and interact with folks on the beach, and it leaves a great feeling with you. It's really one of my all-time favorite events. I can't believe it's been 25 years that we've been doing this for. It's incredible.
Great job. Great job.
Yeah, great day.
Al, I'll see you out there, little brother. Be good.
All right, Tom. Take care.
Take care. Tom P. Up against the first break. Coming up, man, 2016 Gobbler Season Prospectus. Tony McBride, Supervising Biologist, Division of Fish and Wildlife. He is the Turkey Project leader, man. Be talking some gobbler time. Be right back. Grab that cup. Grab that Rebel. Rack and Fin Radio, WPG 1450 AM from 6 to 7, 78 97.3 ESPN FM. Be right back.
This is Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P. on WPG Talk Radio 1450.
Rack and Fin Radio with me, Tom P. Weekend of April 9th, opening of the trout season. Turkey season starts. 2 weeks, man. The 25th, the 23rd is Youth Day. Have you been out scouting? Actually, I don't think you really haven't been out scouting because we've been, like I said, we've been seeing birds since the middle of January. Gobblers, hens, gobblers in the strut. I don't know what it is. Climate change, global warming, whatever. I've never seen it this early. Well, wait a second. Let me correct this. I think it was 2012. Had some business out in Bordentown. I think it was the first week of March, last week in February. Going up 539 here in that field, right past the sign. It says Emery Pies. Make a left where the Collier's Mills road sign is on the right. Go right past there. Going, I don't know what kind of field that is. Little patch of woods. I had to pull over. I got the binoculars out. There had to be 30 birds out there. A couple of gobblers on the side, hens everywhere. And I believe it was still February. So things are happening. Jersey, last year we had a pretty good season, 3,043 gobblers in the spring brought into check stations. Want to get a prospectus on this year, a very special guest, good friend, Division of Fish and Wildlife Supervising Biologist, Mr. Tony McBride. He is the turkey man. I think he also does bears. I think he does. I don't know how many heads he has for all the different hats he has to put on. But he took a few minutes today. Rack and Fin Radio, Tony McBride. Welcome aboard, brother. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
How are Lydia and Stephen? They locked and cocked, ready for the... Oh, wait, no. Stevie can't make the Youth Day. He just turned 17, correct?
Yep, Lydia's ready to go, though. She'll be 15 on the 23rd.
People, let me tell you something about Lydia McBride. Turkey, deer, she's great. Trapping. She is... I'll tell you, man, she's the next Jim Bridger, Kit Carson. I'm telling you that, McBride. This kid's amazing. Well,
yeah,
Tony,
she loves it, and I love to get out with her. I like to trap myself, so it works.
Well, Tony, let's get right to the nuts and bolts of it here. Statewide flock estimate, please.
20 to 25,000 birds is where we're at right now.
And, Tony, our harvest figure last year, 3,043. In 2015, 2,883, 3,073, 74, whatever. In 2013, 2,954. In 2012, 2,995. In 2011. So the harvest is on the upswing. Tony, weather, population, a lot of stuff involved. What's the dealio?
Yeah, we're at a point where our turkey population is going to fluctuate now depending on production. And we've got turkeys pretty much everywhere in the state where we'd like to have turkeys. And, those birds are going to continue to have bad years and good years. Hopefully our harvest will remain right around where it is now.
Okay, Tony, natural factors. Again, weather, wet spring, terrible on the poults. You do have your predation. Any avian diseases? I mean, are birds pretty healthy?
Our birds are healthy. They get a couple of different diseases that we've seen. One is called avian pox that we see in a few of the birds. And then another one is called LPDV. It's got a long, fancy name, but a lot of the birds get exposed to it and don't have any symptoms. So it's not threatening the flock. You get a few birds every year that show symptoms, but that's about all we see. Our flock is pretty healthy.
And let's just talk about, again, Jersey, the fifth smallest state. And these are based on 2014 harvest figures, though. I mean, we shot more birds here, Tony, than Utah, Wyoming, Rhode Island, naturally, North Dakota, New Mexico, Montana, Nevada, Massachusetts, Arizona, Connecticut, Delaware, and Idaho. I mean, Tony, we're at the turkey management level, flock level. I mean, we are maximum across the board. We have some great hunting opportunities, north, central, and south, correct?
We really do. Some of those western states that you mentioned have turkey habitat in very limited areas and river valleys and places like that. So we've got a much broader area of habitat compared to those areas. Yeah,
and some of those western states, McBride, they have counties bigger than us. So I don't count that. We have great turkey hunting. Tony, north, central, south, how are the flocks regionally? I mean, the north, the south, I keep saying this, and the permit sales ride the south shall rise again. The southern tier counties, Tony, Cumberland, Salem, Cape May, Atlantic, Burlington, much get more popular now based on permit sales and sheer turkey population. This is the southern region is where the best hunting is, I think.
Yeah, right now the birds are doing really well down there, although I will say zones 1 and 2 up north have shown an influx the last couple of years, which is good.
Yeah.
There's a few permits left in Zone 20 I saw this morning, but a lot of those areas are sold out at this point.
Yes, listeners, if you're looking for E-Week, the Saturdays, you're hosed, man. Those are the first ones to go. Well, Tony, that's a little encouraging because I think the last D-Week I'm going to be hunting the South. And then for the first week and then the second week, I will be up in that Stokes, Delaware Water Gap area. And come to think of it, last year, my cousin Mary and I and the lovely Denise Marie during trout and shad fishing, did notice more birds than we had seen in 2 or 3 years previous. Again, geared totally better reproduction as per weather, less predation. What's your assessment on that?
Last year, we had a fairly good year, and also the year before. So from the year before, you'll have 2-year-old gobblers out there this year, and last year produced quite a few jakes that we'll have in the woods this spring.
Okay, on the line with us this morning, April 9th, opening of trout season, Tony McBride, supervising biologist, New Jersey Division of Fish and Wildlife. He is the turkey project leader. Tony, any downside that we have to worry about on the turkeys? Again, predation, disease, development. I mean, the development still, as much as we have a lot of public land. Listen, check this out. We have, almost 800,000 acres of public land. The great state of Texas, where I hail from originally, has maybe twice that. Isn't that amazing? So we have plenty of habitat here, but is the squeeze being noticed? And I see, Tony, more and more turkeys terrorizing the suburbs. What's up with that?
Well, I was just going to say that we do have development in New Jersey, but that doesn't seem to be affecting our turkeys to any great extent because they're so adaptable and they can live in suburban areas. They can make a go of it. And we do have, in some places, the turkeys get aggressive when it comes towards breeding season. In suburban areas where they get no negative interaction from people, same as if you saw a squirrel in the suburbs. They're not afraid of people. Some of these gobblers will walk up to people and purr and try to be aggressive. So
I hope they don't try to mate. Well, anyway, that's another story. But Tony, listen, what about this? Not to put you on the spot here, but for example, 6 Mile Run, Watchung Reservation, Nomahegan Park, Union County Park System, where they have special deer hunts. The turkeys get that thick and become nuisances. I've read in a paper somewhere, one just flew through a window somewhere. Is it possible to have limited turkey hunts in those areas?
We go into those areas and capture individual problem birds. But those areas, if they wanted to have turkey hunting, it would have to be something that they could handle based on the number of homes in the area and that kind of thing. Maybe some areas could consider archery hunting.
I'll tell you, with these crossbows, man, that is effective as you can get. On the line, Tony McBride, supervising biologist, Division of Fish and Wildlife, turkey project leader. So, Tony, on the overall, the prospectus this year, expecting sans any bad weather. We can't tell what's going to be happening 2 or 3 weeks from now. Looking at a harvest similar, slightly below, or above last year's 3,043.
I'm hopeful that we'll have a little bit more than we had last year, just based on the last 2 years' production.
Now, Tony, insofar as management is concerned right now, guys and some gals bitch and moan, I'm paying for all these permits for this zone, that zone, this zone. I have to go here. I got another permit here. What are they doing for the turkeys besides trap and transfer? If they do that anymore? Tony, what's involved? Because I get hit with these questions all the time. What do I know? What's the management involved
right now
with it?
We're involved in a multi-state study, and that's what's been happening in the northeastern region specifically. We've got a lot of small states, and we finally came together and we said, look, we can look at our data regionally and try to manage turkeys more on a regional basis. So there's a student right now at Virginia Tech that we're giving a lot of data to. A lot of the states in the Northeast are looking for ways that we might be able to manage these birds that maybe we couldn't figure out just in our little state alone.
Well, Tony, the success rate, the success story of the wild turkey in New Jersey, I remember being there when Ron Erickson and a bunch of other guys released the first, what was that, 79 or 80? Bob Erickson, rather, yeah. And you say, I'm thinking, man, the most they're ever going to expect in New Jersey is maybe 5,000 to 6,000 birds statewide. That's pretty good. And here we are, well over 20. And at first, they weren't doing well in the South. Yeah, Tom, let me ask you before I let you go. Initially, the turkeys weren't doing well in the southern tier counties. Now it's a gobbler Valhalla, so to speak. Was there an agriculture or habitat transition? What happened that all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, over a couple of years, all of a sudden, that's Burlington County South. Whoa! You had turkeys all over the place.
That's really a really good question. I don't have a really good answer. The best guess I have is genetics. Mm-hmm. Somewhere along the line, there were a strain of birds down there that adapted to that area and those birds proliferated. We did have a lot of birds come in from similar habitats over the years from Georgia and Alabama and other states to our south. So it's possible that some of those bloodlines got in and those birds were more fit to live in those sandy areas, those pineland type areas.
And, Tone, I've seen some flocks also, listen, the Monmouth County area, Monmouth where it borders on Burlington, they're a 539. Tony, Mary, Mother of God. I thought I was on a gobbler farm. Whoa. They were absolutely everywhere. Again, here's the thing, listeners, getting permission to hunt turkeys. Plenty of birds on public land. Plenty of birds. In fact, in the Turkey Digest, the supplement, there's a list of public lands and turkey hunting areas, plenty of acreage. But I'll tell you, you want to crack at a specimen gobbler. If you can get access to private land, especially where you have patches of woods and open fields, Tony, I think our birds, our Eastons, are as big as you'll find anywhere else, correct?
They're very nice.
Monster birds. Okay, Tony, thanks for joining us on Rack and Fin, Best of the Family. Question, McBride, will you get out over the next few weeks to get to hunt?
Yes, I will. I'll probably have some time during the D segment up here in Zone 2, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, Tony, great job. Thanks again. Best of the family. See you in the woods, bro.
All right, take care, Tom.
See you. Tony McBride, supervising biologist, Division of Fish and Wildlife. Turkey, man, it is going to be. I know it's 2 weeks away. I can't wait. I'm into my fish and my shad, my trout, the stripers. Yes. Tog's ending in a few weeks. But, oh, man. Turkey season. Coming up next, Ron Jones, ACP, some calling tactics. Early part of the season. Be right back. Rack and Fin Radio. Happy New Year to all.
This is Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P. on WPG Talk Radio 1450.
Rack and Fin Radio with me, Tom P. Again, a Happy New Year! In the parallel universe of Rack and Fin Radio, when a season opens, it is indeed a new year. Trout season, I said earlier, and I will say it again and again, kicks off today. Plenty of trout going out this week in the select South Jersey waters and Central Jersey waters. Listen, Youth Turkey Day, as we spoke earlier, kicks off the 23rd, the Monday, the 25th of April. The general gobbler season begins. Okay, you have weeks A, B, C, D, and E is for the weekend. And I'll tell you, the lovely Denise Marie and I have been watching turkeys, I guess on the weather, what have you. They've been in strut since late January. Now, just the other morning on a ride down into the studio here, getting off exit 58, hooking up through the backwoods 539 and looping back around again. Not one, not two, but three different fields with birds in strut. Hens all over the place. The ladies indeed can be distracting. Put in a special call to a very special guest. Rack and Fin Radio, fairly frequently we can type and nail him down because he is omnipresent all over the place. It's Ronnie Jones. He's president, Rednecks Pride, Game Calls, and Outdoor Sense. A many decades veteran of the calling and scenting scenes here, not only in New Jersey, but pretty much around the country. Ronnie gives seminars in Texas, Ohio, Indiana, whatever. One of his many specialties is turkeys. This time of year, like towards the end of the season, too, the last week, 4 weeks from now, when there's still hens around, they'll make or break. I don't care how great a caller you are. They can make a break or hunt. So I said, Ronnie, man, what do we do about the ladies? He said, Tommy P., let me explain it to you and your great audience. So he's on the Rack and Fin line with us this morning. Ronnie, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Tom, how you doing today?
Listen, are we going to see you sometime this afternoon, Saturday, maybe 4 or 5, down there on the Morris River by Sherman Avenue with some of your new kick-ass trout scent, Jonesy?
My plan is to be out there sometime tomorrow. Of course, if it's snowing, I don't know if I want to be there or not. I don't know. We'll see.
John, if not today, then definitely tomorrow. I mean, they put a load of trout, not only in the Morris River, but the Cohansey. But I digress, Ronnie. Let's talk gobblers. Let's talk more specifically the hen situation, the ladies in the early going. Like you said before, and you told me many a time, Tommy P., they can break it up. They can distract that gobbler, divert his path in to either your decoy or your calling. They're pretty troublesome, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the misconceptions is that Tom, he has no idea which hens are ready to breed. All he knows is he's got hens out there. Until she actually lays down in front of him and gives him the breeding position, he's just like a teenage boy running through them all. He's just crazy, just right. hoping.
Well, Ron, what I'm saying, the fact that it's like a buck and rut, then they can get careless, but can they get stupid?
Yes and no. I mean, here's what's going to happen. As long as there's hens in his sight, he's going to stick to her, and that's the curse of the early season. You've got down here in South Jersey, you could have 20 hens in a group, and you got 5 or 6 gobblers there.
That's what we've been seeing, yeah.
Up north, I guess the numbers. Yeah, the numbers are lower up North Jersey just a little bit. But as long as he's got that hen there, he's saying, I'm not leaving, okay? So what we try to do is in the early season, instead of trying to pull him off of those hens, I'm going to try to pull those hens to me. I'm going to try to make that flock come to me.
How you doing that, Ronnie?
Well, there's a couple different ways. First of all, you got to try to figure out if you got a passive flock or if you got an aggressive flock. If you got a aggressive bird in the flock, it's easier. If you can plain make a hen mad and have her scold you and you scold her back, a lot of times she'll come on off and get her to give you a look. And if she's coming within 20 yards, that puts him usually within that 40 to 50 yards. So if you can just pour in just a little bit more, you can get that shot there.
So Ronnie, let me interrupt you a second. So there is a boss hen, so to speak, in that flock.
Well, I guess there's a boss hen. There might be a couple boss hens.
Uh-huh.
You got to remember, a lot of flocks come together, especially if you get a smaller flock. If you got 5 or 6 birds, hen birds in a flock, that's probably going to be a family unit of that hen. So there will definitely be a dominant bird, hen bird at that point. If you get a flock of 20 hens, that may be 4 or 5 family units that was reared together. So there'll be 2 or 3. I've had as many as 3 or 4 hens cussing me out, walking up, and I've had other times I've only had 1 hen. But the key is try to get I like a dominant hen or an aggressive hen because it makes things go faster and it makes things go smoother. She's going to come in. She's going to be scolding you, and what I'll typically do is if she's hitting me hard with scolding, I'm going to hit her as much as I can with the exact same thing right back at her. And she'll just keep on coming, where they get up on her tippy toes. If you got a decoy out there, a lot of times I'll come up that decoy and peck at it and just give it a bad eye there. If she's putting or clucking rather, if she's putting, look at your game's done. But if she's clucking, then you're in pretty good shape there. Just keep clucking back at her. If she's clucking and purring, keep doing that. Whatever she does to you or me, I'm going to try to give it right back to her. Preferably, I'm using mouth calls, but you can do the same thing with box calls and slates too if you're real good at it.
Okay, on the Rack and Fin line this morning, Ron Jones, President, Rednecks Pride Game Calls and Outdoor Sense. 2 weeks, turkey season opens, a Monday, 2 Mondays from this Monday. So, and then the hens they'll make or break it here, man. Ronnie's giving us some tips on that. Well, Ron, when you said get aggressive with the hen, do you have is there a repertoire of calls like to get her all pissed off, or is there 1 or 2 like fallbacks that you always have?
Oh, a lot of times and just to see how she's going to try to take off on me. If she returns that, then I can continue on. And then again, whatever she does at me, at that point, I'm going to go right back at her. A lot of those hard clucks.
Right.
Now I'm an aggressive caller, but now when I'm saying aggressive caller, the first thing that everybody thinks about is volume. All right. That's not what I'm calling aggressive. I call a lot. In other words.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, yep.
I'm going to make a lot of vocals, but I'm not necessarily going to be overpowering in volume. I'm going to maybe I might be quiet, but I might be a lot. I may do a lot of those cutting, and I can do a 15-second series of cuts, stop for 30 seconds and go right back into it just to see what her body language is. If she's replying to me and if she's scolding me, then every time she starts to scold me, I'll actually stop her right in the middle of her scolding, and then I'll scold her right back. Just flat out tick her off,
Right.
But most of the flocks we're going to run into, seems like anymore, is going to be those passive flocks. Those birds that's just out there in the field feeding, and you got the poor toms, they're doing the half circles, and the hens are just moving right on through. They are extremely hard to deal with. They're just time consuming and what have you. So what I will probably try to do in a case like that is try to determine the direction that they're going, and then try to get ahead of them, wait them out. If I can get 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, whatever it is, out in front of them, try to get into their path. And as they're coming into me, I'm going to do those subtle little flock sounds. I'm going to do a lot of purrs. I'm going to do a lot of scratching. Those little sounds like that. I'm going to do some scratching. There's also, I can't do it with my own voice, but there's what I call a whine or a growl. It's similar to a chicken. It's different than that with a call. It's a different sound, but I'll do that. Also, a lot of guys, unless you're setting by hens in a box, there's little peeps, and there's all kinds of little whines and all kinds of little social sounds that the average hunter is never going to hear because they're not crazy like me and just go out and sit in the middle of a bunch of hens in a tree stand and listen to them scratch and do whatever.
I've seen you do that, Jones.
If it's earlier in the season, the best time to do it is like in January and February, even December. You can't do it now because of the baiting law, but go out and throw some corn out there in the places where the turkeys are frequent. Get yourself into a tree stand above them. All right, and then throw the turkey around, the corn around, and just let them come in and feed and scratch and do all that stuff,
Right.
Or you can even do it at blind. Can't do it now. Don't do it now. You're going to get yourself in trouble.
Don't do it now. Well, let me ask you this.
Do it now.
What is, when you said the passive and you said aggressive, is the gobbler taking, or the gobblers taking their cues from the hens? Or do they take it upon themselves? Hey, there may be another hen over there. I'm going to go get her ass. What's going on with the gobblers?
If he's not getting any on occasion, if he's not getting any results and he knows there's nothing going on in this flock here, we've been able to call some gobblers off by doing some extremely vocal breeding hen sounds. That's where you're going to go into a real high pitch, long screech type thing, and then ended up with a couple clucks. I can't do it with my voice. It's like a whine, if you will, that's long, and then you go into a couple little like that type of stuff afterwards. That's typically known as the breeding sounds. By doing that, we've been able to pull toms off, and what they typically will do at that point is they'll split the difference. In other words, say your hens are out there 100 yards in the field or in the woods, and you can do a couple of those sounds there. A lot of times that tom will split the difference, and hopefully that difference split is within your 40-yard range to where you can get a long shot at him. But also, I think most guys are forgetting, in nature, the hen comes to the tom.
That's right, yeah.
He's sitting there. He hears a hen cluck or a sound or whatever. He does the gobble. She answers back. He gobbles again. She now knows where he's at. And when she's ready to breed, she comes to him. All right. I think that's why we get a lot of staging birds anymore out in these areas. I think, I used to think it was predation, hunter pressure, all this tomfoolery. Anymore, I just believe that we're hunting older birds.
Right.
And these birds, after 3 or 4 years, they're just used to the hens coming to them. They don't have to run to the hen. If you notice, your little Jakes and your 2-year-olds are the first ones always to run in. Okay,
they're the ones I shoot.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You get a 2-year-old with thank God for 2-year-olds. They make
absolutely. I can't wait, Ron. I can't wait. I'm very impatient. You know me.
Well, I'm the same way. I want to make them in. I want to get them in, or I want to get them out. Go hard on them. But again, the typical turkey hunter is willing to wait 2 to 3 hours. Me, I want the sucker in 15, 20 minutes or move on to a better bird.
Okay, Ryan, listen, we're up against a hard break. Before I let you go on the end of this segment here, the tactics you just described and the calls you made, will that extend through till, say, the last week of the season when most hens are bred? Or was this pretty much like the first 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks of the season? What do you think?
Oh, no, it goes all the way through. Matter of fact, in D week, I'm going to use those tactics in D week in the afternoons. You got to remember now the hens are bred. They're off by themselves. There's fewer flocks, and that old boy's feeling lonely. All right, and then you give some flock sounds. He's thinking, oh, here's my chances again.
There you go. Okay.
So that works even better.
Okay, on the line, Ron Jones, president of Rednecks Pride Game Calls and Outdoor Sense. Ryan, before I let you go, it's not a shameless plug. This is your people. His stuff works. Ronnie, now you manufacture, you have your slate calls, correct? You have your box calls. You have dynamic diaphragms called. My lovely Denise Marie Ronnie sent her one with the 3 or 4 reeds in there, and she's all over the house with that thing. Doing some great calls. And you're getting into the fishing scent business. Your deer scent business is off the trail charts. We know that. Ronnie, now the difference, before I let you go, this time of year, comfortable with the calls that you're good at? I mean, the slate, the box. Does one have an advantage over the other?
No, it's what you're good at. It's what you feel comfortable with.
Okay.
That's that secret. My son, well, Jennings, he worked a pot and a mouth call, and then I work a box call and a mouth call. That's what you feel comfortable with, and just, again, don't worry about your more birds are killed on turkey ebonics than they are on clean cut competition calling.
Oh, Jonesy, on that note, I'll let you go. Give that website, please. Facebook, what do you got?
It's acpwildlifepro.net.
Ronnie, we'll see you guys in the woods, and hopefully that last D week, let's get together and get a hunt going afternoon. I've since they legalized, I've yet to be able to hunt in the afternoon segment, so I'd like to give it a shot. Pardon the pun.
Okay, buddy.
Take care, Ron. Best of Jennings and everybody. See you.
All right. Bye-bye.
We're long on a segment. Sorry, Chris Coleman. Tom B., grab that cup, grab that Red Bull. We'll be right back. Rack and Fin Radio.
This is Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P. on WPG Talk Radio 1450.
Hey, man, get your gobbler on. Youth Day, the 23rd. 25th kicks it off. I'll be out there for D week, man. This is tournament time. Perch own the month of April when it comes to tournaments. Now, Captain Dave the Rave Show of Seeking Bay Sports Center, who's also a sponsor of this tournament coming up. Our guest is patiently waiting on the Rack and Fin Radio line. He's going to be running that flounder tournament to benefit the Save the Summer Flounder Fishery Fund. That's going to be opening day in May. We're going to try to get Dave on. I think he has a chartist one. He's probably on the rain. I don't know if he's no in Shoal. He's out there. Maybe he has a chance, to fish for himself. But I'll tell you, people, Saturday, April 23rd. Mark it on your calendar 2 weeks out. So I have the very special guest on the Rack and Fin lineup, because this is, without a doubt, the Garden State's premier, I'm not even going to say perch tournament, premier tournament. It's the Landisville Gunning Club 11th annual white perch tournament. $1,000 first prize. Also, we'll get into it, a special $1,000, I tell you, that's going to be, somebody just may do it. You never know. Somebody probably never fished before, hang a piece of bloodworm or grass shrub over the side, and you know what happens. But besides the great tournament, big money, there is an after-tournament party. This is absolutely outstanding. One of the best, in fact, if not the best I've ever been to. A lot of families involved. You see the kids out there fishing, the moms out there fishing, the fathers. Great camaraderie. Joining us on the line right now is Dave Lorenzini. He is the secretary of the Landisville Gunning Club. He's going to talk about upcoming 11th annual white perch tournament. Slamming, man. Last year, I think 130 boats, 140 fishermen, whatever. We're going for 200. Hey, Lorenzini, does the number 200 mean anything to you?
Oh, 200 sounds great, Tom. We're really shooting for a record-breaking turnout this year. It's good to speak to you again. Good morning. I hope we're as excited as you are this year. This is the 11th annual tournament. We've got a lot of advertising on our webpage, Landisville Gunning Club. You can sign up with us at www.njwhiteperch.com. And you mentioned something, but we've added an additional prize opportunity for the fishermen this year.
Go to it, man.
$1,000 cash prize if any registered participant in our tournament beats the state white perch record, which I believe is at 3.1 pounds.
Totally doable, Lorenzini. I mean, there's some great white perch down here. In these tide waters, I've seen them 2, 2.25, 3. Yeah, you never know. Hey, shout out to Rigmaster Rick. Last year at Graveling Point, this kid's out there. It was in late March. Lorenzini, I'm telling you, late March. He's out there with a high-low rig with a bloodworm. He brought in a white perch, 18.5 inches, with I think 2.5 pounds, Lorenzini. So they are out. Oh, they are out. I said, Ricky, did you get that mounted? No, man, I ate it.
They're too good to pass up.
Oh,
man.
Hey,
speaking of eating and the after party, when we catch fish, we like the fishing people to donate some fish so we can fry it up for them. Last night, we decided that we're going to put 2 fryers in because Tom P's coming and we got to keep up with the fish.
Man, let me tell you, after my 7th plate, I had people at the table, including my lovely Denise Marie, get up and walk away, Lorenzini.
Yeah, and we've got a cage to put you in if you get out of control this year so everybody else can get a plate.
That's it, Dave. Prizes. First prize, $1,000. Second, $500. Third prize is $250. Listeners, a $30 entry fee. You say $30, that's kind of high. Dave, there's not flounder tournaments or striper tournaments with those kind of payouts.
And there's a lunker prize in addition to that.
So wait a second. So $1,000 for a record. And what did the guy walk away with last year? How much money was that, Lorenzini?
I think it was a little over $500 for the lunker, and actually last year, for the first time, the heaviest three fish was a tie. So they split the first prize.
Ooh, a tie.
And the second prize. So they split the $1,500.
Hey, listen, it's on the line. Dave Lorenzini, Secretary, Landisville Gunning Club. It's the 11th annual White Perch Tournament, Saturday, April 23rd. Now, you can register online, pay online, or Friday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Landisville Gunning Club. There is a captain's meeting where you can go in there and then register there. Correct, Dave?
Oh, that's true. We'll be there Friday night. A lot of people come out. We have some refreshments, and we offer our T-shirts up there, so it's a lot of fun the night before. Guys are jiving each other on who's going to catch a heavier fish. It's a lot of fun. We also changed something else this year, Tom.
What you got?
We have traditionally only weighed the 3 heaviest fish the boat catches. We're going to 5 this year. 5 heaviest fish for our prize money.
Well, that adds a little incentive there, Davey boy.
Yeah, it might bring other people to have an opportunity to get into those cash prizes.
Well, Dave, running a tournament successfully, a lot of work, and you like the tournaments, especially when you see the women and the youth involved, or the hardcore fishermen. The tournaments I fish, I'm always there to learn something. But, Dave, going on 11 years, Dave, 11 years, and it's continually growing. How do you account for this, Dave?
You have to give a lot of the credit to the chairman of this committee, Stan Garrick. He's been running it for 11 years. He puts a lot of effort and energy into it. He motivates all the club members. It's an all-members-on-deck event to run the tournament and the barbecue afterwards, but Stan organizes it all. Big part in getting all our sponsorships that we get. We have 40 again this year. It might go a little bit over that. We're waiting on a few people. We appreciate all the support we've gotten year in and year out.
Well, Dave, name some of those. I mentioned Captain Dave the Rave Show of Beacon Bay. Name some other sponsors, brother.
Oh, you got Yank Marine in here, Homestead Barber, Sugar Hill Sub Shops here every year.
Time out. Listen, time out. Sugar Hill Sub Shops. Dave, the ultimate sub shop in America. Okay.
Well, and if you want to mix it up a little bit, you can go down to Lavari Seafood, American Grill. They're consistent every year. Gentilini Ford, Spring Garden Marine. You got Arthur P. Henry, Barnacle Bills Marine, Fanatics, 24/7 Bait.
There you go.
So we've benefited from long-standing support from these companies and some other ones, and we appreciate it. They'll get on our T-shirt with their phone number. We put them on a banner board at the event, so that if they have any material, we like to put it out so people can take it with them.
Beautiful. Now, Dave, rain or shine, correct?
Rain or shine event.
Give us the hours.
You can fish anywhere in the state of New Jersey, any New Jersey waters, 6 a.m. You have to be on the club property, which is at Cape May Avenue and 4th Avenue in Estelle Manor by 2 p.m. to weigh your fish.
And listen, I showed up last year at 5 after 2 to lovely Denise Marie and Hugh Carberry, and you was there. He was filleting fish like a madman. Denise was enjoying a cold one, talking to some people she met the year previous. Dave, I parked a half a freaking mile down the road.
Yeah, we had a big turnout.
That was amazing.
We had, I think it was around 130 fish, but we probably had another 30 people that came to just enjoy the barbecue, which you can do that as well. Okay,
listeners, 11th Annual Landisville Gunning Club White Perch Tournament, New Jersey's premier perch tournament, if not, I say just a great tournament on the overall. I'd match with the fluke tournaments out there. Again, April 23rd, Friday, April 22nd from 6 to 9. You can register at the Landisville Gunning Club. You can go to njwhiteperch.com, Dave, and you can register on that as well.
You can register there as well. You can get a hold of me at 609-404-0581. You can mail the form in to me or drop it off at my office. If you want to fish and you can't make it down to the captain's meeting, we'll find a way to get you registered so you can enjoy the event with us.
Well, Dave, 2 final things. The prizes that you give away, besides the money, I mean, that place, I mean, you were like Santa Claus. I mean, gifts were flying all over the place. So they all donated.
We're generous. We're generous. We want to make ourselves different from the other tournaments, so it makes it attractive, and it's fun. Guys get excited. They've weighed their fish. They're thinking they might have the title, so when you start announcing who's going to get the money, it makes for a big show.
Well, Dave, what was really refreshing to see, I mean, the guys, the adults, were as fired up as the kids. It was tough to tell, except for the size, who was more excited.
It's hard to tell. Fishermen and hunters get excited, and I don't think you ever lose that childhood enthusiasm with that. Maybe that's why we do it.
Okay, Dave. Now, the listeners, the after tournament, aka post tournament cookout, you will have freshly fried perch, which is. I don't know who came up with that batter. I offered someone $500 last year for the batter recipe. Told me to take a hike. He said, over there where all the chiggers are. Okay, so much for that. But, Dave, I understand you're going to have steamed clams, okay, burgers, dogs. I mean, go into it. Go into that menu,
We got
man.
potato salad, macaroni salad, coleslaw, all the fish we can fry up. Guys donated it last year. I mean, you saw it, the filet. We had an aluminum galvanized trash can was overflowing. And we ran out of batter, so that's why we stopped frying.
They ran out of but okay. I had a seamless transition, Lorenzini, from fried perch to clams to look at that tub of macaroni salad over there. Was that the third or fourth tub you just brought out?
We made 12 pounds. There was enough macaroni there to feed an army.
That was it. Okay, Dave. One more time: website, Facebook, and cost of the tournament.
You can find us on njwhiteperch.com. Check us out on Facebook. Sean Hargraves did a great job with our social media advertising this year at Landisville Gunning Club. You can contact me by phone at 609-404-0581 or come down and see us Captain's sign-up night, April 22nd, in Estelle Manor. Our club is a big white building right on the corner of Cape May Avenue and 4th Avenue.
Dave,
we look forward to seeing everybody.
That is a classic clubhouse, man. I love it in there.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Now, how long has Landisville been around, Dave, the gun club?
This club, I think, chartered 1958 or 1959. I'm not a son of an original member. And they built that club somewhere in the early 60s. And then there was an expansion in the late 60s.
Amazing. It's just good to see.
It's great. There's a lot of history there.
Dave, the clubs, it's in the fabric of societies down here in South Jersey. It's still, the hunting and fishing clubs like that. North Jersey, Central Jersey, not so much anymore. I mean, the deer clubs here, it's an entirely different ballgame. Again, within a small state of New Jersey, the diversity, the dichotomy is amazing. Listeners, Landisville Gunning Club, 11th annual White Perch Tournament. First prize, $1,000. Second, $500. Third place, $250. Okay, there is. Dave, go into those two other prizes again. You have the
lunker. Yeah, we added a special prize this year, $1,000 cash prize to any registered fishing participant if they break the New Jersey state record for a white perch. Of course, they'd have to go and have it qualified by the state representatives, but we'll offer an additional $1,000 cash prize for that. And there's a lunker pool that's based upon the number of registrants, which will be the heaviest single fish. And we're weighing 5 fish this year for the top 3 prizes.
Lorenzini, Tom P. will be in the house. Dave, can't wait to see you.
We look forward to seeing you and Denise Marie.
Yeah.
We enjoy it.
Can't wait to see you guys in a couple of weeks. Now, 3 people in production asked me, how come he's not? He usually comes into the studio. Why is he doing the phone? I said, Dave hates me. Dave, best of the family. See you in a couple of weeks, little brother. Be good.
Hey, I look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much, Tom. Enjoy.
See you, man.
Bye.
Yeah, we don't participate in that many tournaments. Denise Marie's schedule is going for a Masters, and it's tough. I'm traveling. We're all over the place. But we made it a point. I guess it was 3 years ago to get involved in this White Perch tournament, and it's just a great time again to see the families. Okay, to see the youngsters and the moms and the girlfriends involved. It's a great thing. Let's keep it on a fishing track here. Largemouth bass in South Jersey. Actually, largemouth bass around the state. Smallies as well. Should be like a couple of years ago when we had that warm weather. Last spring was an anomaly here. The water was freezing this time of year. Had some early spawning going on. I was down Ponder Lodge Pond and a couple of private ponds in Cape May County about a week and a half ago. Oh, man, look at bass starting. Some beds are getting made here. I think they have pulled off. We want to get some pre-spawn tactics with Mr. John Big Country Hageman. He is a local tournament pro, and he's also the freshwater fishing pro staff, Bass Pro Shops there in Atlantic City. John's going to give some tips. We're going to end this segment with John and then go into the next segment, some pre-spawn bass tactics. Mr. Hageman, Big Country, how you doing? Welcome to Rack and Fin, brother.
Thanks for having me, Tom. I appreciate it, brother.
John, this weather, what the bleep? I mean, they're there, they're gone. What's going on here, man? Have you seen this before?
Living in South Jersey, you just learn to deal with it. But Mother Nature this year is surely off of her meds. There's no question about it. It's been a tough one.
Well, John, like I said, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, I saw some bass. It looked like they were making beds. I saw some big sunnies in the shallows as well. Went back the other day, man. It was when it was 28 degrees or 25 degrees, whatever in the morning. Gone, man. Whew! And I went back, same places in the afternoon, gone. What is happening, man? They were about to get there and now back off. What's going on?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Tom. What happens is you get a good warming trend like we had about 3 weeks ago. Remember, we had steady temperatures in the 70s. I mean, the high upper 60s, 70s all week. And 2 or 3 days of a good warming trend, especially these smaller ponds like you were looking at, they're going to heat up quick. I mean, they're going to get to that 60-degree temperature mark, and that's when things start to move with these bass. And, a couple days of cold snaps, couple cold nights, and it's like, it pushes everything back. And that's exactly what you've probably seen down there is them fish, they're more or less full.
Joining us on the Rack and Fin Radio line this morning, April 9th, John Hageman, local Bass Tournament Pro. He's also the Freshwater Fishing Pro Staff member down there, Bass Pro Shops, Atlantic City. John, you have to hang on to another segment. We're up against a break. Can you hang in there, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be here, bud.
Okay, Tom P. will be right back. Grab that cup. Grab that Red Bull. Happy New Year, man. Opening of the trout season. I know trout's not your game, but John, you got to love the stock trout. They feed the big bass. What can I tell you?
That's
Be right
That's
back.
Right.
Rack and Fin Radio.
This is Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P. on WPG Talk Radio 1450.
Yeah, loving it live here, Rack and Fin Radio with me, Tom P. WPG 1450 AM, the great talk radio from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 97.3, ESPN FM, 50,000 watts of the Rack and Fin radio message. Also streaming live on the web, WPG1450.com, 97.3, ESPN.com. Very special guest, first time on Rack and Fin Radio, John Hageman, local South Jersey tournament Bass Pro, also Freshwater Fishing Pro Staff member, Bass Pro Shops there in Atlantic City. Well, Hageman, before we get to some tactics, you've also fished out of state a lot, correct?
I do, yes.
What's that sweet ride you're in there, little brother?
I got a Ranger Z520 2009, powered by a Yamaha 250 horse.
And that was a very generous offer you made to me off the air to let me use it for a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Anything for you, Big Tom.
Well, Johnny, listen, let's get to some pre-spawn tactics. We only have a few minutes. What are your go-tos? The next week and a half, it will be warming up. The night, John, from the weather forecast, still going to be in the 30s, low to mid-40s. What do we have, John? A big venue and a tight, or not a big, Stillwater venue and a tidal water venue such as the Upper Mullica. What do you got?
It all plays part of water temperature, Tom. So I'm thinking that water's still going to be cold. So you're talking probably mid to upper 50s. So I think your go-to bait right now, I know it's what's tied on my rod, is a suspending jerk bait. You can let it sit in that strike zone a lot longer. An all-terrain finesse jig, a square bill crankbait, and if you can get them dialed in, you know where they're at in that water column. You can always count on that Bass Pro Shop Sticko. It's the 5-inch worm that you can go to town on. My two go-to baits also would be the Z-Man chatter bait. It's just such a versatile bait. And the Zoom Super Fluke, which I call my fish finder, because you can throw that bait around that lake, and that's going to tell you exactly where the fish are, and then you can concentrate on that area once you figure out where they're at.
Well, John, there used to be an account of ours at Wood Advertising, Z-Man. I don't like that Elastec trailer on that chatterbait. Chris Smith, Bass Pro as well, and he's also the statewide now warm water, cool water biologist. He swears by he puts a Zoom or a Yum on there. But that chatterbait, you're right, it is a bass ass kicker, man.
Unbelievable. And what I do, everybody has a different trailer. I personally take a swim Senko, a 5-inch swim Senko. I'll bite about 2 inches off of the top of it, and you get that good paddle tail behind it. And obviously, you want to match it. Match the hatch is what you're doing. Typically, I throw a green watermelon or a white. And I usually trailer that with a watermelon Senko, swim Senko. Well,
Hageman, let's get back to the jerk baits and a little square bill. Size and color patterns on those two baits. What do you got?
I'm very easy when it comes to my colors. I stay with, like I said, the naturals, the whites, the watermelons. The sexy shad would be my favorite color in the suspending jerk bait, a 5-inch jerk bait. The alternating finesse jig, that would be in a black, brown, and amber color pattern. And the square bill, again, back to the natural. You're going to be chasing shad, you're going to be chasing minnows, so you want that natural color for presentation. Okay,
John, retrieves. Now, the jerkbait, one thing. Okay, retrieves. Are these fish aggressive? Are you just piquing their interest? What's the dealio? I mean, are they going to hammer it or more like come up and just take a swat?
Speaking right now, if we were talking about fishing this week, Tom,
right now,
say slow, and slower. Absolutely slow as you can. It's going to kill you to fish it that slow, but you want that suspended jerkbait to sit in that water column as long as possible. These fish are not aggressive yet. Again, some of the smaller ponds are going to heat up a little bit, you got a bigger fish concentration on a smaller body of water. So
right.
You can absolutely, you got to let the fish tell you what they want. You cannot go wrong with fishing that bait slow, though. That jerk bait, you got to let it sit in that water column, let the fish tell you what they want, and then adjust.
Well, John, I've been very fortunate over the years. Know some of the big pro guys. Now, Casey Ashley, who was on about a month or so ago, I had fished with him in South Carolina a couple of years previous. Again, early spring, we're there for a photo shoot. He gave me a tutorial on a jig with a trailer under these docks. Again, South Carolina, but it was pretty much the same weather pattern now. Will that tactic work up here?
Absolutely will. The thing with the jig, though, is you kind of want to – I mean, you can fish it in shallow water, Tom, but me preferably, that's a deep water.
Yeah.
And if you're fishing jigs with Casey Ashley, I'm sure you're fishing docks with 5 to 10 foot of water on it, which is the perfect situation. It's just tough to find down here in South Jersey.
Hey, Hageman, even I caught bass.
Well, you're fishing with Casey Ashley. He's a great guy. He's great for the sport, and I've met him several times, and I was very happy to see him win Bassmaster Classic last year. He's a great guy, great ambassador for sport.
Joining us on the line, John Hageman, freshwater fishing pro staff, Bass Pro Shops. He's also a local tournament pro. Well, John, now, as the temperature starts to warm up, these fish come up on the flats and start to make the beds. Can they be goaded to strike when all they want to do is make love? What do you got?
Yes, once they get on the beds, you can still catch them. You got to aggravate them. You're going to be looking for nuisance baits, stuff to get them fired up on their beds. Lizards, jigs again. The big sunny lures that look like a sunny's going to come attack their nest. But the lizards, the creature baits, that's what you're going to want to throw around the big flats. Once they're up on the beds, they are tough to catch. But if you aggravate them enough, you'll get them to eat for sure.
Okay, John. Well, John, we're up against a break. Listen, real fast. You have a pretty impressive list of local sponsors. I mean, go into them. This is, again, listeners, small ball leads to grand slams. This is one of the best bass fishermen in South Jersey. Companies have the faith in you, Hageman. Go. Who do you got?
My local sponsors, I'd like to thank Bass Pro Shops Atlantic City, obviously, Ducktown Tavern, Petros's Big Top, Con Mechanical Systems, Foreman's Auto Body of Lake Harbor City, and my good friend Jimmy Brady with Galloway Painting, and my industry sponsors, All Terrain Tackle, Ardent Reels, Power Pole, and Bass Pro Shops again. Man,
those Ardent make some badass low profiles there, Big Country. Woo!
Oh, they do.
Those bastards get cast.
Tom, one more thing. I got to thank my wife, Nicole, my daughter, Morgan, my daughter, Madison, and my son, Johnny. Hands down, my biggest fans and supporters out there.
Well, listen, I have to thank them, too, because they convinced you to give me that boat for 2 weeks. Okay, little brother. Man. We'll see you on the water. Let's fish in a couple of weeks. You got it?
Absolutely, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Okay, listen, you can meet John down here at Bass Pro. When are you there, Hageman?
I'm there for a lot of special events. I'm always there. You can find me on Facebook, John Hageman Fishing, and I'll put on there when I'm going to be in the store doing tank demos and things of that nature. Okay,
John, be good, man. Have a great weekend. Hey, get out there and catch some trout.
Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it, man.
See you then. Yeah, and speaking of trout, rain today wasn't great weather, but get out there and enjoy. Go to njfishandwildlife.com, click on freshwater fishing, go to trout fishing. This upcoming week's all the stocking numbers are there, and the day they are stocked in the South Jersey area. 2 prime waters, again, not being stocked. Southwest Branch, Rancocas Creek, Morris River, and Cohansey. They will be stocked the following week. All the numbers are there. Get out and enjoy, man. This is the official kickoff of the fishing season. God bless America. God bless the troops. Tom P. Rack and Finn Radio. See you next week.